Good morning. I think I'm live. So I'll share my screen now. Wrong screen. Okay. So good morning. I'm back after a very long time now. I was on a break and now I'm back. Yeah, let's begin. Let's begin. I'll just set up my charts. First and foremost, the most important thing, that is my watermark. I think it's good. Okay, let's begin now. Mhm. Hello, hello. Stop the microphone. I hope I'm audible because I'm not it's not today. I hope this doesn't go to waste. We'll begin now. Let's go to the weekly chart for E-mini S&P 500. So it's all clear now because I'm back after a very long time. So I'm going to remark everything that I was watching. This volume imbalance on the current futures contract. I'm going to not let it transpose to not let it be visible on the lower time frames because this is a weekly time frame. I only want this volume balance shaded on the chart on the weekly and maybe the daily, maybe hardly, but not more than that. I don't want it on the 1 minute charts. So So this is the volume imbalance that we've been watching since like very long time, like months now, when we were around here somewhere. I don't even remember how long ago we were talking about it, but it's there in the previous ZeeLive recording, so you can watch it. And we have this volume imbalance on the current futures contract. I'm just going to take a look at the continuous futures contract one. Okay, there's no volume imbalance here in the continuous contract. That's why we also refer to the current contract, because that volume imbalance is important there. So yeah. We have an order block as well as the consequent encroachment of a wick aligning, but that will be denoted on the lower time frames. I think we're in a bullish trend, obviously, but this is a weekly chart and we do things that on the lower time frames, but we refer to these time frames for a guide, as a, as a reference point, because price moves on the low time frames to make the higher time frames, to make them. It's better to position yourself in alignment of the trends of higher time frames, but you can be nimble and take scalps opposite to them as well. But you have to be nimble and get out early and take partials early and be careful. So I'll go back to the ESU 2023. We have a fair value gap. I'm just going to mark the high of that fair value gap right here. Because the low of it is here, and I'll mark the liquidity void there. This also, I had it on my chart since months. I'm going to shade it a bit better. I mean, more visible, darker. But since we're away from it right now, I mean, today I don't think we're going to use that. So let's see. The body is respected the high of this fair value gap. I can't see any order block here, like I did on the continuous contract months, the continuous contract of ES. Yeah. What else can we think of? What else may be important today? I'm not going to mark obviously a fair value gap here, but I'm looking at other things that I can watch. I'll just check if I'm live. Yeah, I think it's going good. So this is the weekly BC here that we have marked. We're inside of that weekly BC right now, roughly around the consequent encroachment of it. And we have a weekly order block here as well. I'm going to mark that open. Actually, I'm not going to mark it. but because the weekly BC and the high, I mean, it's okay if I don't mark it. So I think that's about it on the low time frames. Oh, sorry, it's the highest time frame that I refer to today, that I'll refer to today. That is a weekly chart. Now we'll go down to the daily, and on the other monitor, I'll just load whatever I marked and reference it whenever I feel I have to reference it. So this is the daily chart for ESU 2023. We're in August, so 2023 September contract. I think that's valid still. So as I said, we are inside of this weekly BC, and also we have the daily BC here that has been respected beautifully yesterday with the low of this candle. Also some mitigation blocks, but I'd rather not use them. I incline more to fair value gaps than other PD arrays because I've been a part of ICD 2022 mentorship. So that's the core PD array that ICT used for to teach us. So I use fair value gaps more rather than I know there's a mitigation block. I know there's an order block on the weekly chart, but I'd rather not mark them. I have in the back of my head, I notice them, but I don't mark them if they're not important to me. They may be important to you. That's all you may use. Like you may say, okay, we have a mitigation block here. The body of the candidate is better. That's okay. But I mark fair value gaps more than the mitigation blocks. So this is a weekly that is coinciding with the daily fair value gap. The weekly and daily, it is getting a little bit clumsy here. I mean, lots of fair value gaps are outlined, and there will be lots more on the low time frames. So I have to do something about it. Mm, this maybe I'll not remove it and not let it be on the low time frames. That's what I'll do. Okay. So we have the daily fair value gap here that the yesterday's candle respected. I think we had a good displacement into this fair value gap, but I'm not trying to pick any tops or bottoms. For me to feel bearish, we have to violate on the S&P, we have to violate at least the consequent encroachment, sorry, the mean threshold of this order block with the body of a weekly candle, like not on the if I mark the mean threshold of this order block and on the say 15-minute it violates, that's not enough for me. On the weekly chart, on the weekly candle, the closing of a weekly candle, we have to violate the mean threshold at least for me to feel a slightly bullish. We are in an uptrend. We are going higher. This may be the top. It might not be the top. We're not taking tops and bottoms. We are working inside of the intraday framework and capturing moves. So let's go to the daily again, and we have the daily favorable gap. I think we've touched the low of it now. With CPI today, look how the bodies of the candles went inside the weekly. Yeah, which is getting clumsy. And if I remove this green one is the weekly favorable gap. Look how the body went. The body violated it yesterday, the weekly favorable gap, but today it opened and uh, went. It 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 stayed inside of the weekly favorable gap. To fill the daily favorable gap, we had to go down yesterday, but so today's opening straight up again into the weekly favorable gap. Weekly BC. We have a gap here, a volume imbalance. That's I'm not saying that's going to be it today, but if we go higher, I think mm, mhm. Yeah, I think the order block and this favorable gap here, but I'm not going to mark it right now. Let's see. All I see is we are inside of the range of yesterday, today, even with CPI. Like CPI is a wild move and it usually takes out highs and lows, and it's so wild it takes out previous months or previous weeks highs and lows. And even with CPI, we didn't take out yesterday's highs and lows. Basically, we have an inside candle. Not saying it's going to close, like it's not going to go outside of yesterday's range today, but CPI didn't do much damage. So let's go down to the RV now. This is what I'm talking about. This is Wednesday's range, and we took out this high, but took out these lows, but still inside of this range. This is yesterday's PM session high. I think for higher prices, current Interweek high is the next buy side liquidity objective. If we go higher, if we take out this high, I think it should take out this high as well. And that would take us outside of the range, outside of the consolidation on the daily chart. Like this week was pure consolidation because of CPI release. I think it was waiting for CPI, and now that CPI has arrived, it should make its move on Thursday today and Friday tomorrow. If we go above this fair value gap here and find it at support, I think this high here is next. I do think we are going up for this high. The buy side liquidity of this high and the fair value gap here. Because the higher time frame trend is bullish, so I prefer longs today. Around 15. Yeah, the order flow seems bullish. We took out buy side first with CPI, then we went for sell side. Then I think it's now the time to make the real move, which may be bullish today. I was a little bit early, I would have taken, but I came in late. ES looks like the volatile one today. Nasdaq is also inside of yesterday's range today, and it looks like it doesn't want to move much higher. Okay, the high right now in ES here. That is the high of the weekly, roughly the high in place right now is the high of the weekly fair value gap. So it might just be like rebalancing on the weekly chart. Like weekly fair value gap, we had a busy, then we had a sit, then we came down last week into it. Then if we have to go lower, it has to first rebalance the weekly fair value gap, that weekly busy. After that, it can go lower. I'm not saying that that's the case right now, but if it's supposed to go higher, it has to run away from the weekly fair value gaps high. This is what I'm talking about. This weekly fair value gap high. The high right now is the weekly fair value gap high. I've not transposed that to the lower time frames on the hourly chart or the 15-minute, but I'm watching it on the other monitor. We have SMT with NAS. NAS looks like a weaker one. basically what I'm saying is I'm waiting for more information. Like right now, it's not clear to me. So it has to make a displacement for me to make some kind of a decision. Up till then, I'll do nothing. Like this right here, this rally. That's what I said. Like it's rebalancing when it was around this high. I said this high that is in place right now, it's just rebalancing the weekly family gap. So if it's supposed to go higher, it has to make a rally, and looks like it's doing it. So I think it should just run now for the buy side liquidity objectives. And I also said that this is the hourly fair value gap. It has to find support, and look how it closed. And next candle found support, not even made a small wick, just rallied higher. I like it. So now I think the buy side liquidity is in the cards. And that may not be, may not give me a trade today because I've missed the move. If it was if it was suggesting that it's going to go lower, then I might have looked for a short. But this right here is too much of a move for me to enter because I'm late. So this can be another lesson today. When we have a premium array, not saying the weekly BC was the premium array, but it could have been a level of resistance in the scope of BC, like buy side delivery, sell side delivery rebalanced. Up till here, it was just rebalanced. Then we have to break that array with some kind of a displacement. And this candle right here was the displacement. That's what I mean when I say I'm waiting for more information. When I'm waiting for more information, it means that, you know, it has to displace in a direction for me to either consider it as a fake move or a real move. But it has to make a move for it to be a real move or a fake move. If it's not moving, it's not going anywhere. I'll be right back. Okay, so it's moving aggressively to the Y side liquidity that I've outlined. Good move. Now, if I was in a long, I would have say I went long here somewhere. I don't know if I would have been because of 930, but if I was long here, I would have taken a partial with the weekly fair value gaps high and let a small portion run for the buy side liquidity. I would have had that weekly fair value gap on the lower time frames as well if I was long. The time is 9:56. And I also want you to notice that I'm not chasing this move up to the buy side liquidity. I had deciphered when it was around here somewhere that we're going for buy side liquidity. But even though like from here to here is a good amount of range, like 42 to 24, that's 20 pips, somewhat of 20 pips, 20 handles. But I'm not comfortable with this entry. Like I want to get in, it's going lower and with some form of 2022 model after going low, after going for sell side, and then like when it was here around somewhere and we reversed, I would have entered here, but I was late. So you missed the move. That's absolutely fine. I think in the macro perspective, we're going to make if we are in a bullish market in the macro perspective on the daily weekly, the yesterday's candle on the daily chart will be a good bullish order block. Yesterday's candle on the daily chart because we have displaced higher and now validated it as a bullish order block on yes. Yeah, the fair value gap on the hourly chart has been tagged. It should now run for buy side. Great move, by the way. If I was long, I would have taken a partial here, right there with the fair value gap. Delivered. Nasdaq took out previous day's high. ES took out the intra-week high made on Monday. I think yesterday's candle on the daily chart will be a good bullish order block now for the macro perspective bullish move. I'm not comfortable going short right now because you can't be sure about a market structure shift in this condition because it's all of candles. Like I don't see a clear swing low that is an intermediate term low that should be used as a market structure shift. Like all I see as a good swing low to use as a market structure shift is this low. This is too far away. So definitely not bearish. And we had a big run. So I think that makes us neutral for the day. Not saying it, I am neutral for the day. I'm bullish, but no trade for me. In terms of the weekly profile, I think we have Wednesday low of the week. And now I think it's going higher. It's going to go higher. Dow looks the most bullish to me, but we don't trade the Dow. I do think we are in too much of a premium right now, but I don't know how to frame a trade with this idea. And also, I don't think it's going to move much now. I think we've done a good move. I think it's moved a lot. And shorts are not ideal currently because you made a Wednesday low of the week. Or you can say Wednesday intra-week reversal. We are above the weekly open in Nasdaq. We are above the weekly open in ES as well. Even Nasdaq looks kind of bullish to me now, which is the weakest pair among the three. The shorts are not ideal, and it's too much of a premium right now to go long. So that makes it not a day for us, at least not for me. So I may think I'll take a break or wrap it up maybe. I don't know. If I see something later in the day, I'll tell you guys. But currently, I don't think it's high probability. I think it's going to get chopped now. Right? It should consolidate now after taking out buy side, after getting into the fairly gap on the hourly chart. For now, I don't see anything. For now, it's nothing. So I'll stop sharing